up top of Harvard Stadium. Maryland Sports Insider Jared Welsh here with two very special guests. We have Jake Steinfeld and Dave Morrow joining us as we get ready for MLL Championship weekend. And guys, just had the book Take a Shot come out. I had a chance to read it. Thought it was a fantastic book. First, just give us your thoughts on putting that book together and putting it out now.
Well, I got to tell you, first of all, it's been a great adventure as we talk about and Take a Shot. The book's about perseverance, friendship, and a crazy adventure. And this guy over here, I mean, always was very skeptical about pretty much everything in life, but especially doing this book, right, Dave?
Yeah, I wouldn't say everything, but when it comes to self-promotion, that's not something that really comes naturally to me. So when it came to this project, Jake pretty much had to drag me through it because I didn't want to do it, and stopped returning his phone calls and being really slow and responding to emails, just thinking it would all go away. But he's a very persistent guy, so we ended up getting it going. And in hindsight, I'm glad I did because it was a lot of fun reliving a lot of those old memories.
As I was reading the book, there's a lot of things that I was able to take from it and learn from and kind of think about in terms of what we're doing here with MSI. Dave, I know part towards the end of the book, you said that you had just kind of realized that Jake didn't know what he was doing either. It was kind of going in full force. How big was the learning curve for you especially?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things where, I was able, I had a successful sports career, and I was fortunate enough to be able to have some success in business, but it was that fearlessness, right, where you just kind of going, and I think what I had going for me at the time is I was just so young and so inexperienced, and I really didn't know any better, and kind of confidence breeds off of itself. So Jake always pursues everything very confidently, and then I would sit there and go, well, God, if Jake thinks it's a good idea, it must be a good idea.
I mean, there was a moment where we had a meeting. We talk a lot about Take a Shot, all these crazy adventures, and don't worry, the names have been changed to protect the guilty and the innocent, right? But I introduced Dave to a good friend of mine who ran a big Hollywood agency, and the first question he had to Dave, and this is one of the first meetings that we took, really, right? He said, "So, what kind of revenues were you doing?" And Dave was about to say something. I said, "Doing $27 million bucks." And Dave, and we got out to the car, and he goes, "Jake, come on, man, 27 million. I mean, maybe I'm doing $1 million bucks." I go, "Wait a second. You're going to do 27 million, though, right?" And he said, well, yeah. And I go, "Okay, the world lets you be what you make them believe you are." And that's how we set forth on this great adventure. And the really fun part about the book and just about this whole story is the relationship that Dave and I created out of a magazine article. And I think this is something that is a lot of guys talked about in reviewing the book. And my kids just asked again. They said, "Dad, what happens if you didn't call Mr. Morrow from that magazine article? Would there be Major League Lacrosse today?" And you kind of sit and think about, well, life's about moments. And that was one of those moments that I picked up the phone. That's what I did. As an entrepreneur, I call it dialing for dollars, and got Dave on the phone. And his story is a great one. We don't want to tell too much of it, but his dad has a great story about who he thought I was and what he thought I was about. But that you got to read the book.
Now, another thing that you're all about, and I'm a little worried here, there's no Hawaiian shirt. It is beautiful so far,
Yep.
but no Hawaiian shirt.
I got the Hawaiian shirt. It's hanging over the chair in the hotel room at the Ritz-Carlton, Boston, right here. Dave knows. We retired the Hawaiians, because I guess what started to happen is that it got tough. I had to continue to outdo myself with Hawaiian shirts. And
Yeah, but you know what, Jake? There's a lot of Hawaiian shirts here, because how many copies of Take a Shot?
Wait a
So
second.
we've scaled the Hawaiian shirt. The Hawaiian shirt has now gone global.
It's it. Wait a second. Is that the best of what, man? It has. And actually, we were number 2 on Amazon, man, and fluctuating up and down, but it's really been exciting. And this is this is the shirt. I actually might bring it tomorrow. We have a book signing here this afternoon in between games, and we're doing one tomorrow. I might bring the shirt tomorrow. I get a little nervous bringing it out. I don't know if I had to bring the armed bodyguards with us, but this is the actual shirt, man, and it brought us a lot of luck, especially the first game in Columbus, which it was the weather looked like very daunting, and I put it on, and Dave looked at me, my wife looked at me like, "You're not going to wear that, are you?" And I did, and it scared the scared the rain away.
One other thing you talk about.
Right, man, it's unbelievable. You gotta. If you don't use that, you're all in trouble.
One of the other things you talk about is different ownership groups getting together. That original six, well, maybe seven. Read the book, find out about the seventh, how that goes. But Brendan Kelly a few years ago buying the Bayhawks and doing a lot with that team. Then Jim Brown now getting involved with the Long Island Lizards. What does that mean to you? What does that say about the league and getting guys like that involved?
I just think the caliber of ownership groups, the caliber of guys who are getting involved in the league, is really getting a lot stronger. But I think it really comes down to a very simple thing. Take a shot. We talk about, we open up at our games literally last year almost to the day, the hurricane game we call it, right, where we played during Hurricane Irene and then cut back from 98 to 2001 when we were out of money in 2001. And quite frankly, I always thought that I'd be the guy taking us over the threshold, to the promised land, and it turned out to be Dave, where the relationship that he was able to put together with a guy named Jim Davis at New Balance, who has been the white knight for not just Dave, but for the league, and quite frankly, I think the sport of lacrosse. Jim's involvement for what he's done and what he continues to do, I think, really brings a level of guys and people who are getting involved in the league. It's leading by example, and it's been a great experience, man. And every day, we get a little bit stronger. It just is a whole heck of a lot of fun. I still love that line, man. I can't get that out of my mind. You had that. You had that.
No,
it was wild. I love it.
Well, guys, we really appreciate taking time out of your very busy schedule here at MLO Championship Weekend and taking some time to talk about the book with us.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.